Okay, so I have a book I need to tell you about, but I have to give you a warning first. This is one of those books that kind of settles deep in your chest and just stays there. You can read it in a single sitting, it's that short, but it will absolutely wreck you in the most beautiful way. See, this isn't really just a story. It's a feeling. It's for anyone who feels things a little too deeply. The person who romanticizes the rain on their window, who has built entire worlds inside their own head just to feel a little less alone. If that sounds like you, you're going to want to hear this. Dostoevsky calls this a sentimental story from the diary of a dreamer. And that word right there, dreamer, that's everything. It's not just something you do, it's a type of person. For some of us, it's a way of surviving. This book just gets a very specific kind of loneliness. I'm not talking about just being alone. I mean that feeling of being completely invisible in a city packed with people. Our narrator, he just wanders the streets of St. Petersburg. He knows the faces of strangers. He even feels like he knows the buildings, but has no real connection with anyone. Like you're just watching a movie of your own existence? You walk through crowds, but you're never really a part of them. As if your real life, the one you're supposed to be living, hasn't quite started yet? Just waiting for that one person who will finally turn around and ask you to tell them your story. The person who pulls you out of the audience and onto the stage. If you know that feeling, then you already know the dreamer. Okay, so the story itself, it all happens over 4 of St. Petersburg's white nights. And this is that magical time in the summer when the sun barely sets. So the city is just bathed in this constant dream-like twilight. And that's not just a pretty backdrop. It makes everything feel unreal, suspended in time. It's less like a series of days and more like a spell. So we meet our main character. And what's so fascinating is we never learn his name. He's just the dreamer. He's described as this strange, in-between creature, someone who builds his whole life out of his imagination because, well, reality can be kind of painful or just bland. One night, on one of his lonely walks, he finds a girl crying on a bridge. Her name is Nastenka. And just like that, for the very first time, reality becomes more interesting than his dreams. Their entire story, their whole world, unfolds across these 4 nights. The first night, it's just a chance meeting. On the second, they share everything, their deepest secrets. By the third night, this fragile, impossible hope starts to bloom between them. And then, on the 4th night, reality comes crashing in. And this brings us right to the heart of the whole story. It's about that painful, beautiful tension between the world we create inside our own minds and the one we actually have to live in. I mean, this quote says it all, right? He admits to Nastenka that compared to the heroic, passionate lives he invents for himself, real life just seems so dull, so slow. He's this incredible artist, but his canvas is his imagination, and he's terrified of having to face a blank, real one. And I think that's why he's nameless. The dreamer isn't a person so much as he's that universal, quiet part of all of us, our secret hopes, our fantasies, the life we live when we close our eyes. But Nastenka, she has a name. She's real. She has a history, a past love, a real-world problem. She's the anchor pulling him out of his dreams and into the messy, beautiful, unpredictable present. But here's the crazy part. How can a story from the 1840s feel so painfully modern? It just perfectly captures the feeling of those temporary connections that somehow change your whole life. Seriously, this book is the original situationship. It's about those people who just appear in your life for a moment but feel eternal. It's about the sheer intensity of a brief connection that you know has an expiration date. It's about what it feels like to love someone with your whole soul, knowing they were never really yours to begin with. Because for just a few short nights, Nastenka makes him feel real. She doesn't just listen to his dreams, she sees him. Her presence, her attention, it tells him that his lonely, strange existence wasn't weird or wrong, but something worth hearing about. For the first time, he feels like he has actually lived. And in that one fleeting connection, he finds a lifetime's worth of happiness. But, this is a Dostoevsky story. It's called a sentimental story for a reason. The whole time, the reason Nastenka was crying on that bridge in the first place was because she was waiting for someone else, a man who promised to come back for her. The dreamer, he's just a friend, a safe harbor while she waits out the storm. On their last night together, just as she's starting to give up hope and turn to him, the other man appears, and in an instant, she's gone. The line is just brutal. She tears herself out of the dreamer's arms and runs to the one she was always waiting for. He's left alone on the street again, right back where he started. The spell of those 4 nights just evaporates, and all that's left is the cold, gray morning. But here's the thing, he isn't bitter. In the end, he actually thanks her. He says, "My God, a whole moment of bliss. Is that not enough for a man's whole life?" And that's the question the book leaves you with. Is it better to have that one perfect, fleeting moment of connection, even if it completely breaks your heart, or is it better to have never had it at all?